What's up, everybody, and welcome to The Horror Within Me, a podcast dedicated to the world of horror. I am your host, Eric, and each week I'm going to rate and review a new movie or TV show that falls within the horror genre. Now, this is a show for horror fans, hosted by a horror fan, who's just here to share my opinions and experiences with my fellow horror friends in hopes that you may gain something new to watch or not watch, and really just talk about all things related to this beautifully dark and spooky world that we call horror. So if this sounds like a show for you, stick around, we're going to have a lot of fun. So let's get started. Hi, and welcome back to another Spooky Sunday episode of The Horror Within Me. I am your host, Eric, and this is a podcast where I do horror movie reviews and interviews. This week, I have invited Jenny to come back and join me on this week's special Halloween favorites episode. Hi, Jenny.
Hey.
It's so awkward.
Very excited.
So this is the first time that we've done an in-person podcast in a long time.
Yeah.
A lot has changed on the show.
Mm-hmm.
The formatting has changed. Hold on. There's weird things happening on the iPad here. Okay. Sorry. The format has changed. We do the top 3 best and worst reviews now, but we still have terrifying trivia. We still talk shit, and we still talk about horror movies.
Fantastic.
So,
well, I know I listen every week. So.
yeah, she's a loyal listener. She's a lawyer. No,
Yeah.
She's not. Just kidding. But this week's episode's Halloween favorite episode is on the 1987 film, The Monster Squad. Now, little disclaimer. Obviously, when I asked Jenny to be on this show, she had never seen The Monster Squad. I grew up watching The Monster Squad, so I was curious. I'm very curious to see how this episode goes because I like to have the conversations in the moment for genuine reactions and not like scripted conversations. So I didn't want I didn't want to talk too much about the movie when she first got here. I was like, let's save it for the podcast because I want it to be authentic because it's going to be an interesting take on an adult for the first time seeing this movie.
Yes, it's definitely made for kids, so watching it as an adult was different.
I'm sure. So this is also episode 60. Oh, your phone went down.
Just gonna leave it.
This is episode 60 of the podcast.
Congratulations!
So, cheers to my non-alcoholic
yes.
Non-alcoholic Corona, but I just hit 4 years sober. This is a non-alcoholic beer, I promise.
Yeah, it was like this past week.
It was October 5th.
Congrats again.
Yay! I'm very excited. It's a big month. I love October.
Yes.
But episode 60 is a huge deal. I've been doing so much with this show, and I've been having a lot of fun and really immersing myself in this community. And I say it all the time, and if you're new to the show, welcome. Thank you for listening. And those of you who have been with me since day one, I really appreciate it. I'm glad that you like this little show that I do just to escape into the world and talk about horror movies because that's what I like to do and geek out. And I love that Jenny loves it too. Jenny's been involved in a long time. Remember when Jenny used to be the introduction?
No one remembers that because
do you want to do it for episode 60?
No.
Can we reenact it?
Hello.
And
welcome.
The horror within me.
No.
All right, so we're gonna jump into the first part of the show. So I don't want you to answer it yet, but we're going to do this week's terrifying trivia question. So I have an iPad now because I'm too far away from the computer. But this week's terrifying trivia question is, what is the famous line that the character Horace says while trying to escape Dracula's house? Stick around to the end of the episode to get the answer. I feel like you know it.
Yes.
But we're not going to say it. I'll let you say it before I give the answer later on in the show.
Wonderful.
So now we're going to head over to the show notes and we're going to read a little bit about the Monster Squad. So you ready for some information? Some, what is the word I'm looking for? It's not statistics.
Synopsis?
The synopsis, but there's like the synopsis that's written by the director, like basic information.
Which I would not have known. Did not look up at all.
The synopsis for Monster Squad is a young group of monster fanatics attempt to save their hometown from Count Dracula and his monsters. I feel like that's pretty accurate.
Yeah, my only gripe is that Mummies are not monsters.
But they're part of the original Universal monsters.
Yes, it's just I once took an art history class on a tour through the Penn Museum, and this girl got really freaked out because I was like, this is the mummy room. And she's like, mummies are real? And I'm like, how are you in college?
That's fair. But in the world of horror, mummies are scary monsters.
Yeah.
And
Okay, yeah.
We're gonna I like the mummy in this movie though.
Yes.
He was fun. Or she. We don't really know.
It's generally a dude though, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
Especially in the 80s.
Yeah.
The movie stars Andre Gower as Sean, Robbie Kiger as Patrick, Duncan Rieger as Count Dracula, Tom Noonan as Frankenstein's monster, Brent Shalom as Horace, Ryan Lambert as Rudy, Ashley Bank as Phoebe, and Michael Faustino as Eugene. I have no idea who any of those people are.
The
and
only
I
one
feel
know
really
is
bad.
Horace.
You know him as you know the character, Horace.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you meant the actor.
No, I didn't know any of the kids' names while it was happening.
No. I think I caught most of them. This was released August 14th, 1987, and that's super fun because it was the day before my first birthday.
Aww.
August 15th. I was born August 15th, 1986. So this movie was released right before I turned 1. So I like, fun fact.
Cute.
Almost 1. It was directed by Fred Decker, produced by Jonathan A. Zimbert, written by Shane Black and Fred Decker, has a rating of PG-13, a runtime of 1 hour and 19 minutes. The genre is action, comedy, fantasy, horror. Tagline. You can guess a tagline. Make one up.
Only the kids can stop Dracula for some reason.
I like that. But the tagline is, the end of the world starts at midnight. Your tagline's better. It has an IMDb rating of 6.9 out of 10, a Rotten Tomatoes tomato meter rating of 56%, and an audience score of 78%. So that is the on-paper facts and ish whatever of the Monster Squad from 1987. We are a mess, but I love it.
I know what you mean.
So before we jump into the next part, let's talk about this. The synopsis to me, the end of the world starts at midnight, is so broad for what that could mean.
Yep.
It has nothing to do with, to me, like monsters or...
It's called Monster Squad. Address the squad or the monsters.
Which it just hit an anniversary, right? 30...
Yeah, how old are you?
I'm 37.
So 36.
It's probably not just hit an anniversary, though. Well, I just got a Monster Squad shirt from Fright Rags this past a month ago. I should be wearing it, but I'm not wearing it today because we are recording this episode on
Friday the 13th.
Yes, so of course I'm like Jason out.
Spooky.
Spooky.
Thank you for letting me borrow your very cool hat.
This is the witch hat that I've got from Salem, Massachusetts. That we went to Salem. Yes, it was super fun. I had loved it. I loved everything about Salem. The history, the actual Wicca stores, because we're working in this house, but also the fun Halloween aspects too. You got to take it all in when you're there, especially in October.
Yeah.
And everyone was warned that it was going to be really crazy, but I've gone to New York at Christmas and this was not that. There were lines and there were people, but I don't know. People that aren't used to crowds and doing things, I could see it being overwhelming, but you live in Philly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not. It wasn't crazy to me. Anyway, Monster Squad.
Yes. It was interesting.
I'm curious because I don't know what I'm trying to say. What I'm thinking is I don't want to get your full opinion yet.
All right.
I want to get pieces of it as we do the reviews.
I will hold it in and blurt it out as necessary.
Because I'm very what I usually do on the show if you listen is you can kind of figure out which way I'm leaning towards a movie when you hear me read the top 3 best and worst reviews.
Yes.
So why don't we move on to that part?
Perfect.
So we're going to move on to the top 3 best and worst reviews on IMDb for the 1987 film, The Monster Squad. All right, Jenny. So this is the first time I've had a guest on the show while this format is in place. So what I would like to do, if you're okay with it, is I'll read a review and then you can read a review.
Okay, cool.
And we'll talk about them together.
Wonderful.
And then the third one, we'll just flip a coin. No, I'm just kidding.
Ooh,
We'll just pass it back and forth. Okay. So the first we always do is the top 3 best reviews.
Mhm.
So the first one I picked is a 10 out of 10, and it's titled Childhood Memories. This was written in January of 1999.
Wow.
And it says, this movie brings back childhood memories of watching TV all day long during the summer vacation. This movie was, and still is, one of my favorite movies of all time. Just watching it makes me happy. So what if the acting is not top caliber? It has a great story and the characters are all fun to watch. It is a highly amusing film that you should watch if you've never seen it. I picked this review because I think that they're pretty accurate. Childhood memories. I have the childhood memories. Oh, knocking chains around. And I think like I said, the acting isn't great, but
no,
it's
kids,
definitely, it's definitely something amusing and something you should watch if you've never seen it, especially if you're in the horror community and you're into shit like that.
Yeah, I agree. And it's definitely, there's an endearing nostalgic quality that I could not participate in because the first time I saw it was this week. It's definitely for kids though. So I don't agree with the last bit that everyone should watch it, because as an adult in present day, watching a kids movie from the 80s was interesting.
I get it. Yeah. I mean, like you said, I think it is the nostalgia of it.
Yeah, like I could say that it's a good movie for that time. Would I say that I love the movie? That's a different question.
Yeah, because doesn't have the same effect on you that it would have on me.
Right. Like I'm not gonna like the next little kids movie, Paw Patrol or whatever. Why would I like
There
that?
is a new Paw Patrol coming out. It's so weird that you said that. And did you actually know that?
No.
Oh my God. I seen that. Like I went to the movies and there was a Paw Patrol picture or something. There's a Paw Patrol movie coming out.
It's animated, right? They can't be real
I don't
dogs.
watch Paw Patrol.
If it's like Air Bud, then I'm gonna go watch it.
I never watched Air Bud either. I know I'm weird. I'm going to move on to the next review that you're going to read.
Oh, yes.
So this is this one.
Awesome. All right. So this is called one of the greatest Halloween night movies ever! Exclamation point, exclamation point. From April 2015. I'll just say this. It is without a doubt one of the best kids' Halloween night movies ever. Most of the classic monsters are here. Dracula, the creature, which shouldn't it be the creature from the Black Lagoon? Whatever.
Yes.
Wolfman and Frankenstein. Well, his creation anyway. Everyone calls it this. Fair. Along with the brides, though, and the supernatural effects. It's just a whole lot of fun. I agree. The kids are fantastic. Thanks, gang. I know you're all grown up now, but you should be proud. It's really a PG-rated horror version of The Goonies. Interesting point. Another film I love. The story for this kinda of film is clever and a good one, with some lines your kids will be repeating for ages. The Wolfman's got ... an endearing, enchanting kids horror film from the 1980s. Wow, that was a good era for movies. Enjoy. I'm gonna guess this was a dude.
Yeah. So now you listen to the show.
Yes.
So you know that I read these reviews every week.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand why sometimes reading these reviews, it's hard to read because the typing?
If you read what they're saying, it doesn't make any sense.
No, that's why I get stuck sometimes. And sometimes I just I just read what I think they're trying to say.
Yeah.
But I thought that was a good one. One of the greatest Halloween night movies, because it is.
Yes. Like Hocus Pocus or whatever. My Babysitter's a Vampire. Those are great Halloween movies.
Yes.
I totally agree.
It's family-friendly Halloween movies.
Exactly. With a bowl of candy corn.
I love candy corn.
Wonderful. Me too.
I like the pumpkins.
I just like the candy corn.
But yeah, what did you think of this review?
I think it's right on the money, because it did make me think of The Goonies and Sandlot.
Yes.
And they are great movies of their time, and they're for kids. It's nostalgic. It's wonderful.
There was another part. There's a lot of caps here I'm looking at now. They got like classic monsters, all caps, fantastic. The Goonies, I love.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's really
Enthusiastic.
yes, that's a good word for it. The Creature.
Yeah, it's the creature from the Black Lagoon, which also, if you just remove it from the Black Lagoon, I guess it is just the creature.
I guess it is just the creature. And then you made a face when they said something about the brides.
It's not, because it's Frankenstein's brides, and it's Dracula's, like, concubines,
I thought
they
it was
had
Dracula's brides.
Is it?
He has 3 brides.
That's not how that works.
Usually.
You can't have 3 brides. You can have
Dracula
3
always has
concubines.
his 3.
Yeah, his 3
brides.
slutty ladies.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they're not brides.
I thought they were considered his brides.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm being really harsh on these women.
They had the classic 3 Dracula
ladies. Where they found those nightgowns and no one was looking for them.
Flowy nightgowns. They were scary too, though.
Yeah, they were. They were actually pretty frightening. Except they moved at the pace of a slow zombie.
They did.
I'll be overpowered very easily, and I won't dodge anything you throw at me.
Oh, that review was written in April of 2015. You did say that. So it was how long ago? 6 years ago.
Oh my god!
No, it's not 6. 2015.
What?
It's like 8 years ago.
I don't know how to do math.
That's why we're on a podcast. I'm going to do the last best review on the Monster Squad.
Wonderful.
This one is titled A Delicious Mix of Comedy and Horror. And it was written September 30th, 2006. How long ago was that?
Many years.
Almost 18.
Many movies.
Oh, it's just hit 18 years.
Shit.
No,
because it's an odd.
I lied.
year.
It didn't just hit 18.
We'll figure it out. 19 years.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I'm going to say 19. No, that's not it either.
It's got to be 18.
Fucking 17.
17.
Yeah, because 7 plus 6 is 13. It's
Oh, yeah. No, you're right.
We'll get there eventually.
Here's the review. I recall raiding theaters as a lad to experience this winter. Who can resist an updated tale that brings back all the horror classics like Dracula, the Mummy, the Werewolf, the Creature from the Black Lagoon, and Frankenstein? Question mark. The amount of comedy sprinkled into this movie is just enough to offset the horror. You won't regret adding this one to your library. I'm now challenged with adding additional detail to my post so it meets the minimum length requirements. So I guess I'd add that I enjoyed the supporting role that Jason Hervey played. I always enjoyed him playing the malicious older brother Wayne on The Wonder Years.
Oh my god. Really started with something to say and then lost it.
Yeah, I
love it.
I picked that for that.
It's great.
Like they couldn't just think of something else to say. I am now challenged.
I love it.
With meeting the minimum requirement.
You think, and then he thought of something and then just delete that part. But no, I loved it.
Yeah,
it was great.
I was like, okay. He loved the movie so much, but he couldn't think of more, like the minimum requirements. I don't know what they are. I don't write on IMDb. I probably should. But I thought this was like
the cutest,
the fucking best. This is 2006, and they're just like they're telling on somebody, like, I must go now. I would love to go and post this, but I am challenged with meeting the system requirements. I want to know what it said. Did it say like warning or like error?
Like, you cannot submit until you write a little bit more,
like,
sir.
And then they're like, so I'm going to write that I can't submit because I don't know what else to write about a movie that you recall raiding the theaters as a lad to experience this winter. All you had to do was be like, I remember the smell of the popcorn and the feel of the old cheap seats. I don't know. Just be descriptive of your experience in the movie theater.
And just talk about like a particular scene.
I remember biting my lip and it bled or something. I don't know.
What's
something
wrong
stupid.
with you?
Could have done anything then. I am now challenged. But I appreciate it because I loved it.
I also think it's great just the way you read it. It was dramatic retelling and I enjoyed it.
I have to. But that concludes the top 3 best reviews.
Perfect.
It's the top 3 best reviews that I found for the Monster Squad. We're going to move on to the top 3 worst reviews of the Monster Squad, and you have the honor of doing the first one.
I'm so happy. I also have a drink for when someone says I wasted my time.
Oh, yes.
Yes. Okay. This one is titled "A Character Asks if a 5-year-old girl is a virgin during the film. That tells you all you need to know." Fair. Is written in September of 2020. Oh, no one was having a good time. This is just going to be filled with bad vibes.
Yeah.
Starts awful. And not even for the reason I put in the title of this review. The film is annoying and boring. Too many face shots of Dracula. Seems super strange. The action was not there. Just the after effects of the action, in quotes, of the action. I think this was some kind of rush job to rip off the Goonies or something. Just lame and not meant for children or adults. That doesn't make sense. Toilet trash. Okay, so sanitary napkins. And rats are most likely the target audience. The same guy who directed RoboCop 3 directed this film. That tells you how much the producers valued this trash. Coming after that guy for no reason. All right.
That's what I mean. Like, these people. So, what'd you think of that one? Agree? Disagree? There's something.
I mean, it's for children. It's not for adults. So I get that. I get being a grumpy adult watching this and wanting it to bring nostalgia. I guess this person didn't watch it as a kid and then was just a grump about it.
I have a question, though, because you did just watch it and I haven't in a couple years.
Yeah.
Did they ask the 5-year-old girl?
Yes.
They did ask?
Yeah.
They asked Phoebe?
They were like, oh, we need a virgin to do this. And then the one girl does it and they're like, are you not a virgin? Which, again, how does this magical orb know that she has had sex? No one knows. And they're like, no, she's not. And they're like, oh, shit, who can we get? Says the 8-year-old boy. So then they turn to the 5-year-old girl and they're like, she can do it. It's gross.
Oh, I thought they asked her.
I don't think they asked her. That's fair. They didn't ask her because obviously she has no idea what that means.
That's what I mean. Like, that would be that movie would completely be done now. No. I don't think that.
Why they brought her in the first place, I don't know. Oh, she came with
her brother, right?
And Frankenstein.
I love that.
Yeah. They were cute, but that's like problematic in its own right because that was like that's like, the whole plot of that book was that he got way too close with an underage girl and they like
have no
burned
friends.
Him down. Why are you
I think it was supposed to
that?
Be like just friendship, and it wasn't supposed to be.
Pick
creepy.
Like anyone else, or have like a little boy because that's
yeah. But there was something else in this review that I wanted to talk about. The toilet trash and rats
is the target audience.
Target audience. These people, I can tell you, the fucking bad reviews are always more fun than the good reviews because the good reviews are like they are so creative. Like I'm not even that creative. Toilet trash and rats.
The only rat I know that watches TV would be Splinter from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
What about Ratatouille?
He's French. He wouldn't watch TV.
He's cooking.
He's not watching this.
He's cooking in the kitchen. He's under doing something.
His name was Remy. Sorry.
I've never seen the movie. Yeah, so that was that one. I'm going to go on to the next review.
I just want to think of a little pile of rats and a little pile of tampons watching this movie.
Toilet
together.
trash, yes. Yeah. And it's just Phoebe. Yeah. Okay. Next review is titled, let me think. Stupid. All caps.
Okay.
Written in June of 1999.
There's going to be some fun sass here.
I saw this movie for the first time and the last time. Now, I wouldn't say I was a harsh critic, but this movie really reeked. The 80s was a confusing era, and this movie was a fart of the 80s era of movies. It lingered around for a while and didn't smell too good. The whole idea of kids fighting monsters is an idea out of some stupid Saturday morning cartoon.
Oh, yeah, it's for kids.
What kind of an actor would play a fish man? And even the idea of a fish man is staggering. So if you are thinking of watching Monster Squad, think it over and consider the year of 1987 and the crap that came out of the 80s. This is so fucking crazy to me.
Very creative, though. I did like it. But also...
I've never heard anyone describe a movie as a fart in the wind that lingered and smelled bad.
All right. All right.
I'm going to start using that. That's this week, guys. It's like a fart in the wind. It just lingered too long and smelled too good. But if it's in the wind,
that doesn't even make
sense. It doesn't say wind. Did he say wind? No, just a fart of the 80s. Just a fart.
Of the 80s.
Yes. Also, what kind of an actor would play a fish man? The creature of the Black Lagoon. If somebody of a like a real filmmaker spotted me and was like, you want to be in this movie? You can be the creature of the Black Lagoon. I would still fucking do it because it's an iconic monster.
For sure.
They know nothing.
What is that movie where the girl has sex with the fish monster?
Oh, I didn't see that.
Me either.
But
it happened.
This was going somewhere.
No, but that's a thing. Yes. Some guy played that fish monster.
The fish monster. There's a lot of fish monsters, but because it's an iconic part, like that's what started Universal Horror.
Is it really?
Like Dracula, Wolfman, the creature of the Black Lagoon, Frankenstein's monster. Like that's what started like the horror movies back in the day. It was all these Universal monsters, and we've become what we've become if you look around. But yeah, like we owe these creatures to still be popping up in today's cinema. Even this isn't today's cinema, but it's not
right. I think if anyone should have been deleted from that lineup again, it would be the generic.
And then like the whole idea of kids fighting monsters, an idea of some stupid Saturday morning cartoon. Not really even just a Saturday morning cartoon. Just in general.
It's a kid's movie. What would it be happening? They get scared and tell the adults and the adults take over?
But there's like a lot of movies with like kids, quote unquote kids, teenagers fighting monsters.
Yeah. Because it's
I don't know what this person's watching.
I don't know.
I don't know who they are.
There's so many other things you could have criticized. Why did Dracula have access to so much dynamite?
He built it.
He built the
no, I'm kidding. I just made that up.
He's like just walking everywhere with sticks of dynamite, just like coming out of nowhere. Like he blew up that guy. He blew up the one cop. And,
that's
like,
right.
No one was
he did have a lot of dynamite.
He just like this is like a vampire. Like do vampire things. Why are you?
He sure did. Did he ever bite anybody?
I mean, those 3 girls.
But we didn't. Oh.
But that wasn't on camera. You're right. There was like 0 blood.
Oh, because it's PG-13.
Yeah, that.
But even PG-13 in the 80s was rough.
Yeah, I mean, there were like bullet wounds, and then like the wolf got blown up.
There was a lot of. It's the 80s. There was a lot of blowing up. Didn't they blow up the house too? Like something in the house,
and a car, and the treehouse.
Oh my god, there was a lot.
So much dynamite for no reason.
That's what he should have said.
That's a legit critique. Also, do you remember the like? First of all, the parents' marital problems were very well developed and kind of sad for no reason. And
because they're boomer parents, and that was fucking reality.
Fair. But then like the scene with the old man and the little kids are like, wow, you know so much about monsters. And he's like, yes, I do.
The old German man.
Yeah. And he closes the door and you see his tattoo from Auschwitz.
Yeah.
And it's like, what the fuck, dude? Like, why are you doing this in a children's movie? Holy shit.
And they probably don't even teach kids about Auschwitz now.
It was not addressed in any other part. Just that one scene.
And everyone knew what it was. Devastating.
Not the children. It's a children's movie. Do you think the kids knew?
Back in the 80s, probably.
All right, fair. Okay.
Probably not today.
That.
Yeah. We're going to go on to the last. No, it was great. We're going to move on to the last worst review for the Monster Squad on IMDb. And Jenny has the honors of reading this. This is a 2 out of 10 one because there was only 2 1 out of 10 review on IMDb.
Wow. All right. This is, very recent, April of 2022.
Yes.
Overrated movie full of annoying kids. Okay. Just started watching Monster Squad for the first time, and no wonder it was a flop when it was released. This movie is lame. Full of annoying kid actors with big mouths. The monsters look good, but they are wasted among a dire script and those annoying kids. Is this written by a villain from Scooby-Doo?
Yes.
I gave the movie 2 out of 10 based on the fact they tried with the monsters, but everything else falls flat. Sorry, I quit the movie 45 minutes in, but I laugh at all those 50-year-olds who still think this movie is great. Hey, mean. Everyone can like what they like. I couldn't find one rant review on YouTube of this dross. Nobody wants to be seen not to like it. the Emperor's New Clothes.
Make any sense at all. I'm so glad that you got to read that one.
I'm sure he was referring to the Emperor's robe, which is the Emperor walks around naked and everyone tells him that he's wearing a robe and everyone believes it. But they mixed it up with the Emperor's New Groove, so now they've just said the Emperor's New Robe.
Okay, thank you for the Emperor's New Clothes reference, because I had no fucking idea. But I'm like, this is so fucking wild that I have to have it on the show. It is just unhinged in the worst way. I mean, like you said, like, I would have got away with it too if it wasn't for those darn kids.
Those kids were so annoying.
We love the monsters because we are Scooby-Doo monsters.
Oh, so that's my favorite thing, was that the Wolfman was like the mermaid equivalent of a Wolfman, where only his upper body turned into a wolf.
Oh, yes.
His lower body was still human.
He scared me too, though.
Really?
I was a kid.
Oh, that's fair.
Wolfman and Dracula scared me.
Dracula?
They had... Fun facts. Not a fact. Just a piece of information. They had a fucking replica wax figure of Frankenstein's monster from Monster Squad at the place in Salem.
No way!
Yeah, it was so fucking cool. And then like the head of the Fishman.
The creature.
Yeah.
That
it was like,
good.
I was like, oh my God, it's Frankenstein. I call him Frankenstein. I know it's not, but I was
That's
like,
fine.
I geeked out.
I feel like that's totally fair to call him Frankenstein, except for the fact that in the beginning of the movie, they clarified that they knew that that was not his name, and that really bothered me.
This guy clearly didn't like kids.
Yeah, he's an adult watching a kid's movie saying it's lame and filled with kids. What were you expecting, sir?
And they kept saying they tried with the monsters, and that's why I gave it 2. And then, like, also you quit the movie 45 minutes in. Don't write a review then.
I mean, it doesn't really get better.
But, like, don't write a review
That's fair.
for a movie you didn't finish.
Well, which do you think is better? Someone stopping at 45 minutes in and admitting it, or someone watching the whole thing and then bashing on it and saying, this wasted all my time?
That one. Because I think it's fucking hilarious when people don't like movies and they force themselves to finish it. I've only done that a few times, but I think it's fucking hilarious.
What was that weird one that you watched? Yes.
God damn it to hell. Listen, I'm trying. Here's my thing. I'm going to end that first of all, before we move on, I'm going to just end that concludes this week's top 3 best and worst reviews for the Monster Squad on IMDb. Before we get on to what I liked and what I don't like about it, we're going to talk about the topic we were just talking about, which is bashing on movies and movies that we don't like. I'm going to look at the camera for this. Hi. I was recently told that I'm very opinionated. No.
Buy a fortune cookie.
No. As a content creator, it has changed my views on other people's art. And what I mean is I cannot like something, but I try really hard to not be mean about it.
Totally fair.
Like, for people that are fans of Skin and Marink, I don't say, I don't fucking know how anybody likes this fucking movie. I say, it wasn't for me.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I just did not, I fell asleep twice. It was not something I could get into. And
well, that's exactly when I was like, asking me if it was a good movie and asking me if I liked it are two very different things.
Yes.
I didn't really like it because I'm an adult, but I can tell that it was like a well-loved, nostalgic movie of the time for kids. Yeah.
It's a huge movie in the community for people from my generation. Probably yours if you were to see it, if your parents watched it, but like our generation, because we're like 7 years apart.
Yeah. Yes.
Something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Which brings us to the next part of the show, which is what I liked the most and what I liked the least about it. So I will say what I liked the most and the least about it first and give you time to prepare for your answers. So what I usually do is just like a sentence or something and what I liked about it the most, because it's really hard to think about like one kind of thing. It could be like the lighting. It could be the music. It could be anything about the movie. Mm-hmm. So what I liked the most about the Monster Squad was the classic monsters. Like I just love that they were all there. They were all together. And I really liked that Frankenstein's monster was not a monster.
Mm-hmm.
Like they changed it a little bit. And that's what I like the most about the movie. Like thinking back on all of it, it's just super fun. But what I like the least is the same thing that I said on last week's episode about Trick or Treat. It is just too short. I get as a kid's movie, the attention spans and stuff is a little bit short, but for me, I feel like a couple details could have been fleshed out a little bit longer and could have made an hour and a half.
For sure.
But that's what I like the least and what I like the most about the Monster Squad. So what did you like the most about the Monster Squad?
I loved how fleshed out all the characters were. They all had like their own personalities, their own little backstories that were relevant or at least addressed. And I thought that was so cute. So they all had their own little personalities.
That's a good point.
Thank you. I disliked specifically the fights with the monsters where they did not have more strength than small children. It would have been cool if they did like a, Home Alone type thing where they outsmarted the monsters, but like,
yeah, you wanted to see a child's head ripped off.
I just wanted to see. I didn't want to see someone like, I got stabbed by an 8-year-old that came at me with a stick.
It was unrealistic. I mean, I get the whole thing is unrealistic, but the point of it was like, I agree. It would have been nice to see like the outsmarting of the monsters. Like,
exactly.
We're talking universal classic monsters. It would have been fun to take it and bring it to like a modern time where they didn't understand that world and the kids could have used that to their advantage.
Like in Hocus Pocus.
Yeah.
Yeah. That would have been cool. Like they knew what they were up against and they didn't really pack well. The kid brought some pizza, which I didn't realize was so garlicky. Whatever.
Did he smash his face?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I gotta watch this movie. I own it, by the way. It's like right here. Hold on. For the viewers who are watching on YouTube, it's the Monster Squad.
Epic.
Love it.
It's a good
Love it. It is a good cover.
Yeah.
My shirt's super cute too. I should have wore it, but it's fine. Anywho, it is time.
Trivia.
Yes, to answer this week's terrifying trivia question. So the question again was, what is the famous line that the character Horace says while trying to escape Dracula's house? Jenny, do you know the answer?
Is it the Wolfman has nards?
It is! Yes. Congratulations. The answer is Wolfman's got nards. It is so iconic. There's even a YouTuber that I follow on YouTube whose channel is called Wolfman's Got Nards.
Nice!
Yes. And if you guys are anything like me, which most of you are if you're listening, you probably already know about that channel too. But yes, congratulations though. You knew it. I mean, it was an easy, question.
It was good.
I try to make up my own trivia questions, keep my brain fresh.
I love how much the kid was telling him to kick him in the nards. And he was like, oh, I don't think he has nards. And he's like, do it. Like, the whole time the Wolfman's just like,
I know. Yeah. It's interesting. Yeah, it would have been better if he was like trying to kill him, actually, instead of just growling and scaring the fuck out of him.
He was literally just like,
yeah. That
waiting
house
to be
scared
kicked.
the fuck out of me as a kid, though, man.
Dude, they were like, oh, Frankenstein's monster was just buried by this explosion. Should we help him? No.
Yeah.
If he died helping us.
Oh,
Let's slowly walk away.
Yes.
What a dick.
Speaking of death, it is time
Kill count.
to reveal the kill count in the Monster Squad. So how many deaths were there in the Monster Squad?
There's the cop that blew up, the coroner. Oh my God, there's got to be like 28 policemen. I'm going to say 28.
You are so fucking close.
Yeah?
The number of kills is 27.
Oh my God.
According to the site killcounts.fandom.com.
Wow.
You were fucking close.
Yeah.
I was like thinking, well, you also just watched it too, because I'm like, there was no one that died in the Monster. It's been years since I've seen it.
They all like one by one attack Dracula. Like,
oh yeah,
he
just like
Star Trek, like one at a time.
Yeah.
He just kills them. Another one, like mob him or shoot him from far away. I don't know.
Yes, but yeah, you were only one over. So congratulations, you win nothing.
Yay!
No. All right, we're at the time
Mhm.
where it's the end of the show where I do my final rating and review.
Do it.
Are you ready for the final rating and review?
Yes.
Okay. This week's rating system is Ancient Amulets.
Nice.
And I give The Monster Squad a 9 out of 10.
Hmm.
My final review is this. The Monster Squad was a movie I grew up watching. Dracula and the Wolfman had me covering my face and peeking through my hands with
With your eyes.
with my eyes, yes. As a child. As an adult, yes, the movie is nostalgic, but it also is a great 80s monster movie that is perfect for Halloween time. It's got monsters, cheesy dialogue, and teenagers who take a stand to save the world from evil. What more could you want? The Monster Squad is streaming now on Paramount Plus.
I really like that. That's very well put. They should have used that as the summary.
What is your rating? How many ancient ambulance, Jenny, are you going to give The Monster Squad?
So that's hard. Is it the rating of the movie or how much I liked it?
So I guess it would be one and the same, right? It would be the rating of the movie that you would give it. Like, what would you rate it?
Well, I would rate the movie like 10 out of 10 for an 80s kids monster movie.
Exactly.
Hit all the marks.
Okay.
Would I be like, it's a great movie to watch? Not that one.
Would you watch it with our kid?
I don't want to babysit ever.
No, you were here with us.
Oh, well then, yeah, totally.
You're like, no, what I mean?
Yeah, obviously, like Hocus Pocus. That's that's right there with Hocus
you
Pocus.
would
Charlie
recommend the
Brown's.
movie to someone with a child.
Oh, for sure. It was adorable and really fun.
So, okay. And what would you, if you could, do you think you could piece a final review together for yourself?
If you haven't seen this movie, you owe it to yourself because it is a classic 80s horror movie with dumb jokes and weird darkness for adults that was off-putting, but cool.
Perfect. Well, before we go, I do want to say thank you. It's always fun to have you on the show.
Oh, thank you. I love being here.
It's Halloween time, and I couldn't do an October episode without Jenny. And Thank you for wearing the witch hat.
Thanks for lending it to me.
And it's Friday the 13th. So we're going to end this episode and go do something spooky. So stay safe, everybody. Stay spooky.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks again for joining me on this week's episode of The Horror Within Me. If you enjoyed this episode, please rate and review wherever you listen to your podcast. And for even more Horror Within Me content, visit my link tree at linktr.ee/horror within me for links to the website, my Patreon, and all of my social channels to stay up to date on all the spooky stuff that we're doing. So be safe, and until next time, stay spooky.